But I will try my best and to finish this now, and then I'll give you 45 minutes or so on the problem solving and how to tackle the problems in different concepts, especially decentration and prism problems. And the clinical optics we may go through later as a part of our overall exam, like setting. We will have images, we'll quiz everyone, we'll ask you like if it's an oral exam, maybe we will have the clinical optics in, but we will put it. Because I don't have the time. It's only one day. I wish I would do it in, ideally, I would love to do it in 3 days. So if you are looking in the future for proper optics course, I would like to give it in 3 days minimum. Because I give it actually in 6 weeks back in my university. But here, 6 weeks in 6 hours. So, ophthalmic prisms, okay, they are again refracting material. So why I'm saying refracting? What is the definition of refraction?
Light bends.
Bending. Okay. So there is a deviation and there is an angle of deviation that we are interested in prisms compared to other optical aids. So the total angle of deviation is the sum of the deviation produced at both surfaces. This is the total angle of deviation. The deviation is always in the direction of the base, but the image is in the apex because it is a virtual image. Very good. But he did his homework, right? So this is how a prism actually deviates lights, and also it breaks it into its different wavelengths. I will discuss this formula when it's applicable to the elements later. So what is the prism diopter? This is also another terminology or definition you need to know related to prisms. Prism diopter is the amount of deviation produced as the light transfers the prism. For angles under 100, okay, each you can do it very easily, like you calculate for the squints and these 2 prism diopters is 1 degree. But if it's more than that, then it's a different calculation. So 1 prism diopter at 1 meter, image is displaced 1 centimeter. Clear? You know where that comes from? From here. So if you have a 1 meter object, okay, and then it bends, okay, in a 1 diopter prism, the displacement is 1 centimeter. So 2 methods of calibration of prisms. This is the question that they ask you in the exams, and everybody mess up between plastic and glass. Which one you are using in your optic squint examination in the clinic? Plastic. Is it plastic or is it glass? Plastic. You sure it's plastic? How do they look? There are separate ones in a box, and there is one in a bar. Which one is the plastic?
The bar is plastic.
And which one is the glass?
They're separate pieces.
It depends. Some they produce, so don't get confused. Always find out what type of prism you're working with. Why? How if somebody has an esotropia and you are using plastic prism, which calibration method is it adopt? Prentice or angle of minimum deviation? And if it's a Prentice, how would you align it? Frontal or with the visual axis? You know the difference? Let's say there's somebody with a squint, ESO, okay? Where is the visual axis? Here, it's not here, right? So if I'm gonna place my prism, okay, would I place it frontal? So it goes with my forehead, or would I place it perpendicular to the axis? So if I'm trying to measure, am I gonna go frontal? So frontal is for Prentice or plastic. Okay? Frontal, Prentice, plastic. Yeah. And if I'm gonna do it with the glass, I will go with the visual axis, so I'm perpendicular to the visual axis. This is is the difference. So if you are measuring your squint and you don't know which prism you're using, then you can get wrong calculations, right? So Prentice position, the incident ray is perpendicular to the surface of the prism, therefore all the deviation occur at the second surface. Okay, so the first falling, the incident rays are perpendicular to the first surface. Okay, so there's no deviation if it's perpendicular to the surface, right? So all the deviation.
It is in part of glass or plastic?
Plastic.
Plastic.
Yes. So the deviation all occurs at the other surface. We said that the angle of deviation is the sum of deviation of incidence and bent or deviated. But in this kind of calibration, only one deviation occurs at the back surface because the front surface is perpendicular. Clear? Right. Now, orthopticals. Made a mistake here. It's the glass prisms actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. The glass prisms are the bars. And the plastic. Now I'm confused.
The bar is plastic, but the Prentice position is glass.
Check it for me, please, because I don't want to make a mistake. These things always mix me up. Okay? So if I remember correctly, the heavy ones are the separate ones. So they are the glass. And the plastic are the standing ones. Okay, so the plastic ones are the ones that you are holding to make it easier with the optical axis. Whereas if you remember what you are practicing. If you hold the glass ones, which are actually now I'm correcting myself, the Prentice ones, okay, you are not following the deviation, are you? You're not following the deviation.
Glass prisms for Prentice.
Yes, exactly. This is what I'm mentioning here. So let's start all over. I don't want to confuse you because I can get confused also. Glass, Prentice, and they are the orthoptic prisms that we normally use. Okay.
And this is frontal. Prentice
And
is
so prisms
frontal.
must be placed perpendicular to the visual axis of the deviating line. Okay? Because you need the deviation only to happen at the other surface. So you have to have perpendicular.
But the plastic, the bar is in Prentice, there is one flat perpendicular surface and the other are raising like in Prentice position. The bar
That is glass. Other way. Otherwise, you are using both glass. Do you have actually plastic?
yeah,
The bar is plastic.
and it is in Prentice position. You
Because
see
it's
one
perpendicular.
flat surface and the other are raising.
Can you check it for me? Maybe everybody has online access on something. I don't want to leave you here with this confusion. This is very important. Maybe I made a mistake here. Should I wait? Well, I'll let you and we move on. Okay. And the angle of minimum deviation, okay, its bending is equal on both surfaces. This is when you get the minimum deviation. Okay. So the front, actually the other one is like a maximum deviation because you get all the deviation on one surface. And this is, they call it Prentice, and this is a minimum deviation because you divide it into between the two surfaces equally. So it gets to be minimum in each. Before we move this, let me check. Anybody got the information? Actually, I can do it for you in the break if you want.
Okay.
And clarify it. Oh, let's check.
Bad connection.
In Wikipedia, it says in ophthalmology, glass prisms were classically calibrated for use in Prentice position, while plastic prisms were calibrated for use in the frontal position.
Yeah, so this is what I wrote here is the correct information. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay? So the glass is orthoptic and it's what we use. Okay? Clear?
Again, please.
So this is the frontal, Prentice position.
Again, please.
Okay. Prentice position, okay, is incident ray perpendicular to the surface of the prism. Okay? Therefore, all deviation occur at the other surface. It is the glass, and it is most of the orthoptic use of kind of prism, and it's placed perpendicular to the visual axis of the deviating line.
So frontal, parenthesis, glass.
Yes, and then the minimum deviation is used usually in the glass.
But the prentice position is like that. Not this is frontal. This is
Yes, that's why it's perpendicular. It's not frontal, it's perpendicular. It says
so this is prentice and this is frontal.
whatever is on this slide is correct.
Yeah, it's correct.
Alas.
But like in practical, this is prentice when I put the prism like that, and then frontal is like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, alas, clear? Any more questions before we move on? Yes, to the visual axis. Yes. Okay, so whatever is on this slide is correct.
صح لأن البلاستيك bar we keep it like that.
Well, you're doing, just revise your method of exam. Okay. Now, let's talk about prismatic effect of lenses. Okay, so everybody clear now about the prism? I can give you a copy. Somebody asked for the presentation. You can have it. Prismatic effect of, and if you find a mistake, please email me. And then I will correct. Prismatic effect of lenses applies the Prentice rule. This is very common exam questions. There is no exam without the Prentice rule. Okay, and it actually talks about the prismatic effect of lenses if we are not looking through the visual axis, which is the center of the lens. The center of the lens. If we move away from the center of the lens, we are inducing prismatic effect. This prismatic effect varies if it's a minus lens or it's a plus lens. Okay? And why is it important? It's when we start talking about prescribing bifocals, okay, for patients with anisometropia, for patients with high refractive errors, and they're looking down and looking in to read, and then they start to have, double vision, and they come to you, they're not happy with the glasses, and they eat your head alive, okay, because they spend $400 on the glass, and then you don't know how to explain to them what's the problem. Go check it on the lens meter, and you try to, how do you identify the center of the glasses? Yeah, this is a practical point, maybe not related. But let's say you come complaining that your glasses see double, okay? And I want to check if actually the glass dispenser did the right center for you, centration for you. So what am I supposed to do? Okay, so I let you wear your glasses, and then I look the light at your center, at the pupil actually, and I mark your glasses. Okay, so I mark your glasses and I remove it. And then I put it on the lens meter and try to align that mark with the center, okay, of the lens meter. And then see what appears there. If it's decentered, it will show you some prism reading. If it's not, if it's centered, it's fine. Okay. So this is a way of getting how you're listening to your patient. So, Prentice rule, spherical lenses has prismatic effect at every point except the optical center. And plus lenses, light bends toward the optical axis, minus lenses, light bends away from the optical axis. Okay? This is usually you get these kind of information in MCQs more than practical. The further away from the optical center, the greater the prismatic effect. So this is a summary of the decentration. Now, lens power times the decentration in centimeters gives you the prismatic effect, okay, in diopters. So if you have an 8 prism diopter based out in a plus lens of 1 diopter, you need to decenter by 8 centimeters. Is that possible? Can anyone wear an 8 centimeter? And remember, 8 centimeters from the center, so it has to be 16 centimeters. So what do you do? If you want this prismatic effect for somebody who has a problem and you want to eliminate his diplopia, and you need to put 8 prism diopter.
We work on the other eye as well.
Divide your both sides,
Yeah.
still. It will be at the tip, maybe.
You consider the
You increase the prism power.
Put the prism.
Power
Prism
of the
power.
Incorporate the prism. There is a limit for decentration. The whole point from this is there is a limit for decentration of how much you can decenter. Okay? So a lot of decentration you cannot achieve, then you put a prism. What type of prism you put? You have to know what kind of prism. Fresnel is one of them, okay? But there's other kinds. Okay, let's talk about decentration directions. Okay, this is also important in problem solving. Anybody is having difficulty? Okay, so if you have, this is the center of a negative lens, right? If I'm going to decenter base up, where would I move my center? If I want base up, if I move my lens up, line will be here. What effect I'm getting? Good. And this one, if I move it up, and this one, if I move it in, let's say this is in, okay? If I move it in,
base out.
and this one, if I move it out,
Base in.
base in. Okay? This is just, you need to exercise, okay? Just have it on a drawing and remember every time. Just, this is a simplification. So if you move it, okay, you see the line is closer to where? I move it the lens this way. Since I'm moving my center this way, I'm in the first one, I'm causing a base in. If this is an in. Okay? Yes. Okay? Here, we will have a lot of problems. Now, when we are talking about deviation or calculating the prismatic effect, first when they give you the problem, these are the 4 points you need to tackle. Okay? And please remember them because this is what you're going to use to solve your problem. Decide if it's base in or base out for each eye. Okay? So if I have a plus lens and the patient is looking in, I'm inducing what?
Base out.
Base out. So I decided for the right eye, I'm a base out. This is my first thing I would put in the corner. Okay? Number 2, I will look at the prescription. If there is a cylinder and the axis is 90, okay, means where is the power? The power is 180. Therefore, include it in your horizontal calculation and ignore it in your vertical calculation. Get it? So if you're calculating patient looking down and it's a 90, I will not consider the cylinder, like if it doesn't exist. But if I'm calculating in and it's 90, I will consider. Okay, so this is your next step. Find the cylinder, decide if you want to add it or delete it from your calculation. Number 3, this is the power of the cylinder always 90 to the axis, just reminds you not to get confused. Remember, it asks for horizontal deviation or vertical deviation. Okay? They ask you, I want you to calculate the horizontal deviation or vertical deviation so that you don't get the wrong answer. You may calculate it correctly, but for vertical. And they asked you actually for horizontal. So, pay attention. Okay. Now, in horizontal deviation, if we are considering both eyes, okay? Remember, both 2 eyes has opposite base. So subtract if it's the same in horizontal and add if it's the same in vertical. Both eyes, the end, at the end of your calculation. Let's say I calculated on the right eye, I have 2 prism diopter base up. And on the left, base down. I'm going to add them or subtract them? Vertical. Imagine they are moving far away, so the distance is increasing. So I will add them. But if vertical, and this is base down and this is base down, they cancel each other to some extent. So we'll subtract them. In horizontal, it's the opposite. Okay, so if it's a base in here, okay, and base in here, they are opposite. They are going opposite direction. So they add. And if it's base out and base out, again they are going opposite direction. more deviation, so they add. Okay?
The last one is face out, so the image will go in opposite.
Then you subtract. Always remember in the horizontal how to handle your deviation. Okay? So in summary, if you calculate for the right 4 and for the left 2 vertical base down, I will subtract them. Okay? And if it's base up, base down, I will add them. So the total in the first case is 2 and the second case is 6. If it's horizontal, if it's the same, base in, okay, means they are really working against each other. Or base out, they are working against each other, so I add them. But if it's base in, base out, and base in, base out, means they are in the same direction, so I will subtract them. Right?
More confused.
Okay? Again. If I'm looking into vertical calculation, right, and I finished my calculation, I included the cylinder, well, I did not include the cylinder, and and you reach the value of example 2 prism diopter base down. وهنا 4 prism diopter base down. They're going down together, the same way, same path, so they subtract. Okay, but if this is base up and this is base down, تخيل انهم going opposite ways. صح؟ كأنها سيارتين رايحين. So the distance between them increase and the deviation increases. This is when we're talking about vertical. When we're talking about horizontal, different because in horizontal, base out and base out are opposite. Not like down, down, up, up, out, out. Okay? So they are opposite, the distance increase. So we add them. Base in, the same. They're not going in the same direction. Whereas base in, out, subtract because they are working together, so they catch up with each other. So they will reduce the deviation. And the same. Okay? Stop fixing the confusion at the end of this session. Okay, alright. Now, 6 prism, the 6 diameter prism was displaced array, how far at 1/3 of a meter? How do you calculate it? We know that at 1 meter, 6 prism diameter will displace 6 centimeters. That's the rule. It's the law. So what happens at 1/3 of the distance? It's 1/3 of. But how do you calculate it? Just 1/3. Okay? As simple as that. So not always the problem will be straightforward. They will tell you 6 prism diameter, how many displace them at 1 meter, and you will know 6 centimeters. They try to trick you here, and they give you at 1/3 of a meter. So remember, it's 1/3 of the displacement. It's a linear displacement, so it goes with the distance. All right. Now, describe. This is a problem for you to solve in your brain. Describe. I want the induced. Okay. And remember, in exam questions, they will ask you induced or correcting. And if it's a multiple choice question and you calculate the induced, because you normally collect the induced, remember the correcting is the opposite in terms of bases. Okay, so if the induced is a base in, the correcting is a base out. So when you're selecting your answer, look for the question whether they're asking for induced or correcting. Alright, so this is one more thing you need to pay attention to. We don't try to confuse you in exams, but we try to get the smart ones. Okay? Describe the induced horizontal prism deviation of a patient who reads 1.5 centimeter in. Okay, so I'm asking for induced, I'm asking for horizontal, I'm asking for 1.5 centimeter in from the optical center of the following lenses. Okay, and in the right eye he has a cylinder, and in the left eye he doesn't have a cylinder. I'm asking for horizontal. Should I include this cylinder or no?
Yes.
It's a 90, so where is the power?
180.
So I'm talking about horizontal, so I am including it. Okay? So how do you include it? What will be the total power? 6.
6.
Okay? Very good. So, first we are talking about the plus in the right and minus in the left. Okay, just to make your life difficult. So, this is the right and this is the left. So, patient is looking in. Identify the base. You remember in the 4 points?
Yeah.
Identify the base. So, what is the right eye going to have?
Base out. Base out.
He's moving in. So,
Base out.
base out. And in the left, we're going to have
Base in.
base in. So remember, right is base out, left is base in. Are you following? If I lose you, just tell me. Then I will go. Alright, so we decided the right is base out and the left is base in. Agree? No confusion? Right. Look at the prescription cylinder is present, the axis is 90, remember horizontal, therefore I'm going to add it, therefore it's going to be 6, okay, and the left remains 3. This is my second calculation. Agree?
Agree.
Let's move to the third point. Apply the Prentice rule, okay, deviation horizontally of 1.5 centimeters gives you 9% diopter base out. And in the left eye, gives you 4.5 prism diopter base in. So, am I going to add them or am I going to subtract them? Because they are
Horizontal.
opposite. So, I end up with my results of 4.5. Everybody should get this question correct in the exam now. Okay, no place for confusion. Right. Okay. This is another calculation. Okay, the patient is wearing +4 both eyes. Okay, and he is reading 2 millimeter in and 8 millimeter down. So you need to calculate both in and down. So if you overlap your lenses on the letter diagram, you identify if it's the space. Okay, so for both eyes, he's looking down, so it's a face up or face down. And if he's looking in, it's a face up. So identify your bases, right? Yeah?
Wait, can I go back to the previous back? The answer is 4.5 base in.
Depends on which eye. Okay, you can choose the eye. Base out because the only value is larger. You go with the larger eye. Okay? You can put it the other way, but always go with the eye that is more powerful because it's the leading. Okay? Remember that. It's the leading in terms of power of deviation. So, no cylinder. Vertical deviation is very simple. 0.8, that's 3.2 prism diopter base up for right and for left. Okay? Do you have a net value? We said if they are the same and they are vertical, you subtract. So there is no net deviation vertically. Right? Horizontally, on the other hand, 4 times 2, 4 times 2, and then, because they gave you in 2 millimeters, always the Prentice rule calculated in centimeters. And then the net is 1.6. Again, something I press.
Let's see. Where's my signal? Bس هاي ما يسألون this detail.
Then else. Patient brings 1 centimeter below the optical axis of his single vision glasses. Okay, remember? There will be problems where it will be bifocal. And then you will have to add the power of the bifocals. Okay, and I will take you through that course. But that's why it's telling you single. Okay, single vision glasses. So every information in the problem is important to you. OD and OS. Okay, and they want the vertical deviation of the glasses in this position. Which position? Identify the position. 1 centimeter. Okay? And then we are looking for vertical. So are we considering the cylinder in this case?
No.
Very good. Present, but power is horizontal, therefore we ignore it. Okay? And the right eye is a base up. The left eye is a base down because it's a minus plus lenses. With vertical, we add the different spaces, therefore the net is 3. Because they are opposite, up and down. So we're going to add that. And so it is, now I'm illustrating here the induced prism. The choices they can give you the induced prism or the type of deviation. So here I induced 3 prism diopter base up. So what did I induce in terms of deviation? Hyper. I induced. Please don't confuse induced with correcting. So I induced the base up, means I created what? Hyper deviation. So how I'm going to correct it? Base down. Okay, so that's where the base down comes from. And 3 prism diopter hyper deviation in the right, or a hyper deviation in the left. If you have to know which eye you are talking about, because the question can tell you the left eye or the right eye. Okay, remember this is induced prism, not corrected prism. So it's rather the opposite. Okay? You okay? I know you like that. Almost like that.
Onto hyper deviation there.
Next, we're going to discuss about astigmatic problems, accommodation, clinical accommodative problems, and optics of ophthalmic instruments. I'm not going to discuss today because we don't have time. But I'm going to give you small handout with summary that you can photocopy. Okay? You have 15 minutes.
حطوا ماينا